For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Christopher Lindsay, an Edison player from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and it is my goal to win my first ever Ultimate Time Wizard title. With this being my third Ultimate Time Wizard event, having managed top 8 at both YCS Indy in 2023 and the most recent NAWCQ in Austin, Texas, I'm going to be preparing for this event like never before. Every Friday up until the event, I will be posting a new episode showing my preparations for this event, including testing meta decks, discussing pros and cons of playing them, side deck patterns, and more as I try and decide what deck I'm going to bring, as well as how I'm going to best tackle the meta. Over the next 5 weeks, I will be putting aside all of my other hobbies, especially retro gaming, and put all of my effort into testing and preparing for the event in the hopes of breaking through the top 8 barrier and winning not only my first event, but the first ever Canadian Ultimate Time Wizard title. This is my road to YCS Niagara Falls. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the final episode of our Road to YCS Niagara series. I want to thank you all for checking out the series, checking out however many episodes you have up to this point. Yeah, it's just my first attempt at doing a consistent series on YouTube where I follow a certain theme or a certain concept throughout it and stick to a schedule, and I did. So cool, 6 weeks, 6 videos, and I just want to say thanks for taking the time and checking all this out. But in this final episode, we are going to discuss what I am bringing to YCS Niagara. Now, I'm not going to be showing you the actual deck list, as there are a lot of things that I'm trying to keep close to the chest, as there are more innovations that I have made, and I do know that there are some people that are checking out the videos that might be at YCS Niagara. So if I ever play them, I don't want any of the surprises to be known ahead of time, which I think you guys can all understand and appreciate. So I will be making a deck profile next week, early next week, once I'm back from the event. Regardless of how I do, even if I go X2 drop in round 2, I will still document and show off the deck list, because for those of you who have watched all the series, I'm sure you want to see the results and you want to hear about it, and you know, why did I do good, why did I do bad, those kinds of things. So I will be doing a deck profile on my stuff when I get home, regardless of what happens. This is not the end of content for YCS Niagara. I do hope to talk to and get in contact with some of the topping lists from the event, regardless of whether it's me or not. I want to try and get some of those deck profiles for you, because I do know YCS Niagara tends to be a smaller YCS, so I imagine the Ultimate Time Wizard is going to be less busy as well, maybe in the low 100s for attendance. But I'm not sure who else might be there covering the event, so if I can get that coverage for you guys, I'm going to do what I can to get as many of the topping lists as possible. So with that being said, I just want to say, again, thank you for checking out the series. Thanks for checking out the channel. Leave a like and subscribe. There's going to be so much more coming after YCS Niagara. In fact, it's my last IRL tournament until at least next summer. So I'm going to start playing in more online tournaments, trying out different decks, since I'm not taking the money and time and investing it to travel for events. I'm going to start playing stuff I'm unfamiliar with and try and expand and see what I can learn and pick up and make videos on for you guys. So thanks again, and let's get into the deck profile. Not the deck profile, you know what I'm talking about. This is the original Amaryllis Theft build. If you haven't watched my deck profile on it on my channel, I will have it linked down below probably, if you want to get some more explanation on why the deck is built the way it is. This is not the list I'm bringing though. The list I'm bringing is an Amaryllis Theft inspired list, but it is different. About 30% of the main deck has changed. Half the side decks for sure changed, and then even some of the extra deck is switched around a bit. So, excuse me. But yeah, why am I playing this list? Obviously, if you've been watching the series, I know someone commented on like the second or third episode, and they're just like, "This is a series about here's why I'm playing Amaryllis at YCS Niagara," and I thought that was hilarious. But I feel like it was kind of obvious. It was more about me exploring what else is out there and trying to understand those decks more than I would just from playing against them and trying to actually play them. Maybe I pick up some things, and there's some things I learned for sure playing against other top decks or playing with other top decks. So I think it was a really good practice for me. But this list, the way it's constructed, not this list, but when I say this list, I am talking about the one I am actually bringing to Niagara, but I wanted to have something to show you guys, so this is just, a reference point. I feel like it is tailored to beat the big three decks now: Blackwings, Vayu, Frogs. The big one being Blackwings. So Blackwings is one of the harder matchups for Amaryllis. I feel like as Amaryllis has improved over the years, stuff like Miracle Fertilizer and whatnot coming into the deck, the matchup has gotten easier because you are able to overwhelm with Titanials a lot easier than you were when Lil Man Yu-Gi-Oh! Originally topped the deck, and when Carpath made his original Amaryllis build. Like, it just plays a lot better. It doesn't just immediately lose to Blackwings like it used to. However, Cyber Valley as an inclusion is the normal summon you want against Blackwings. So a big thing with Amaryllis is that everything is kind of a 2-card combo outside of like Lone Fire by itself, right? Like trade in, you need one of the level 8s. Lila, you want to back it up with some protection. Mark of the Rose, you need Plant Engrave. Miracle Fertilizer, you need the Titanium Engrave. 1-for-1, you want Dandy. Stuff like that. Chaos Sork, you need the Lights and Darks. Like, nothing just works on its own in this list. There's no 1-card starter. There's no, like, outside of, again, Lone Fire summoning a Titanial, but again, like, given the situation, given the deck, like, Shura attack with Kalut just outs that. So it's like, depending on the situation, it's maybe not even the best option at times. But Cyber Valley against Blackwings only has one out. Attack it. So they can either go neg, and they can go Icarus attack, pop one of their own cards and their monster, and use their Icarus just out Cyber Valley. That is stupid. No one should ever do that. I don't know why they would ever do that, unless they like have game somehow. But you're only going Cyber Valley pass early into duels. But Cyber Valley, it forces the attack when you're playing against Blackwings. So it lets you see the next 2 cards of your deck every time you summon it, which is insane because that's 2 more cards to try and piece together 2-card combos. A big thing with Blackwings is when you go first, you could set up incorrectly. Like I said, like, yeah, you could see Lone Fire in your opening hand and go Lone Fire into Titanial and pass, and they could just go Shura attack, Kalut, boom, killed. Or like Black Whirlwind, summon Shura, search Kalut, attack over Titanial. That's it, right? So by going Cyber Valley pass, you get some information from your opponent because they are going to commit cards to the board. You know if they have the Whirlwind, so you know what to fear, you know what to prioritize. So you're not going like blind Lila into like passing with a Lila and then like hoping that they don't have the Whirlwind by them like not activating it the first turn, and then you use the Lila and then they go Whirlwind on their follow-up. Like, you kind of know what they have. You know if they have the Whirlwind, you know how many back row they're setting, you know what monsters they're leading with, all because you went Valley Pass. So you get information, which is important. You also then get to see the next 2 cards of your deck, which increases the chance of putting together a 2-card combo, whether it's trade and pitch Amaryllis or Titanial, then activating a Fertilizer, bring it back. Like, you have so many more options when you do that. So that helps with the matchup a lot. It really feels strong into that matchup, and I can't express enough how good Valley feels, because I feel like until you play the deck, you probably look at Valley and you're like, oh, you're using it just with the theft cards to draw 2 by stealing an opponent's boss monster or something like that. And yeah, that's a really good play. But just going Valley Pass is so strong most of the time, because unless they're playing like targeted removal or something like a Smashing Ground or whatever randomly in their main deck, or like a Book of Moon or something, like, you're going to be seeing more cards of your deck. But also, like, if they're wasting cards like Book of Moon or Smashing Ground on your Cyber Valley, like, who cares? Like, that's hilarious. That's such a good trade for you. But yeah, so that's just where I'm at with the Blackwing matchup. Next with Vayu, we've always had a good Vayu matchup. The side deck is tailored really well for Vayu as it is, and it wasn't even intentional. It was just kind of like a byproduct of building my side deck to beat other decks, and those cards working in tandem with the Vayu matchup as well. So not much to say there. And then with Frogs, again, Cyber Valley, maybe it isn't as impactful, but it is more ways to convert off of Brain Control, Mark of the Rose, and then you do play Mind Control. So those are all outs to the Duplock now. On top of, you play Chaos Sorcerer. And in the Frog matchup, those duels do take longer because Frogs is a much slower paced deck. So you are able to just out of nowhere mill into a Light and a Dark, summon your Chaos Sorcerer if you have it in hand. Like, it's more live in that matchup than it is in others. So it's just kind of, it's just another Duplock out, which is nice. So yeah, so when it comes to all of the main three matchups, this deck feels stronger into all of them versus my hero build from Nationals or even the original Amaryllis list that I took to Indy, both of which can be found in episode 1 of this series. So if you want to go see those deck lists just on Dueling Book and like a quick screenshot, you can see them in that video. So go back and check it out if you would like to. But the other big thing is, and I think this is probably the biggest development and one of the biggest factors when considering Amaryllis for a major tournament, is Gladiator Beast is no longer a rogue deck. In my opinion, Gladiator Beast is 100% real. It has always been a fan favorite deck, and that's why you would always see people playing it. But in this year, it's gotten top 8 at Nats, plus there was 2 others that bubbled out on round 9. It got top 4 at YCS Indy this year. It won RB2 New York with 2 others in top 16. And not only is it a fan favorite deck, so people are going to play it anyways, but now there is a proven winning list out there, which is going to entice people to go back to the deck and pick it up if maybe they were playing it in a different version prior to that is now, obsolete in their mind, because they're like, oh, like I was playing it this way, but this version of Glad's won. I'm going to take that version of Glad's to an event because it's clearly a better version, which that's up to you to decide. I don't play Glad Beast, but it is a scary deck and it is the worst matchup for this deck. So for those of you who saw my interview with Keegan that I did in episode 5 of this series, I will have that link down below as well as the original Theft profile, if I didn't say that already. But in that interview, one of the things we talked about was side decking, and Keegan brought up that Jeff Jones in the original Edison tournament, SJC Edison 2010, he side decked 2 copies of Gotham's Emergency Call just because X-Sabers completely stopped his deck. If you notice the top cut of that event, I don't believe, I'm like 99% sure, there was no X-Sabers. And if there was, like, it was 1. But no one was playing X-Sabers back then because they didn't get all their support yet. It just wasn't that good of a deck. Like, it's part of the reason why even in modern Edison, X-Sabers is starting to creep up. It did get a top 8 at YCS Lille, but it's still in that rogue status. Like, it's not consistently topping events. But he felt the need that he's like, okay, my deck is strong. I can beat all the top decks. I'm going to win this event. But if I run into an X-Saber list, it could ruin my entire tournament run. Well, that's Gladiator Beasts for Amaryllis. So I now have specific targeted hate in my side deck for just Gladiator Beasts. I'm not going to say what it is because, again, I want to keep that surprise factor in case somebody sees this video or tips off somebody that is going to YCS Niagara. I want to keep some of my texts private for now, but that is something that you have to consider as an Amaryllis player now. Glad's is just way too strong, and specifically into this deck. So I have definitely tailored the side deck to be able to account for that, because at Nationals, all I really had was Skill Drain, which is very, very good, but it's 2 cards. It's 2 cards, that's it. It wasn't the best, right? So as for my expectations for the event, I feel like I'm in a good position. I feel like I have that surprise factor. I have the unique deck lists, I feel like my deck list is just tailored to beat all of the popular decks in the room, but we'll see where that gets me. But as far as like beyond me, I do expect Dream Frogs to be prevalent because I do know that there are some good Canadian players. Bronte, who won Nationals with Dream Frogs, I would imagine he would make it to YCS Niagara. I don't know him personally. I haven't talked to him or anything, but I do know he's from Ottawa, so it's like he could easily be there, and he's proven to be good with the Dream Frog list. There's a couple other players that I believe are in the Ottawa region that also played Dream Frogs. Machina, I think, will show a rise because, again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players like when a deck shows success and it's a newer pick. It's not the same old like Vayu, Frogs, Blackwings. People are interested by it, and Machina went undefeated, I believe, at YCS Lille. That's pretty awesome, so I expect to see a lot of Machina players there, which is important. And like I said, Glad Beast. I feel like Glad Beast is going to be all over the place, which is scary, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. I just want to say I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the tournament this weekend. If you're watching this video, I'm already in Niagara Falls, or the event's over if it's a couple days later. But I do want to say thank you again for checking out the channel, checking out the series, showing all the support you guys have. I mean, the channel has been growing like very steady, and it's just been really fun to follow and fun to see, and it's been rewarding just interacting with all of you guys and getting all the messages on Discord and stuff, people reaching out, asking opinions on how their decks are built and different things when it comes to Amaryllis specifically. But I just want to say thank you, and I hope to be the first Amaryllis player to win a major event. Yeah, so not much else to say. I hope you stick around for the YCS Niagara coverage that comes in the following week after the event, and I'll see you in the next series or video that I do. Cheers. Hey there, appreciate you sticking around to the end of this video. If you liked what you just watched, please check out one of the recommended videos or playlists on screen. If you enjoy content on Edison Yu-Gi-Oh! Including deck profiles, deck building theory, meta and card discussions, as well as retro video games, I would appreciate it if you subscribed and gave this video a like. I am Chris Lindsay of No Suck Gaming, thanks for watching.